Hello, my name is Lorna Bell Gathers. I am an author found from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, currently residing in North Charleston, South Carolina. I am a Gullah Geechee writer and reader, but today I'm going to deviate a little from that. In light of everything that's been going on with the recent murders, from Trayvon Martin to Mr. Walter Scott to Freddie Gray, I really have to kind of address that and talk a little bit about the murders, racism, and everything that's been going on in the social media and also in the news, everything that's been going on in our world, in this country, all over this country. I really do live in a bubble, I guess, of sorts, where I don't experience racism in general. I live in a diverse neighborhood, work at a very diverse company, have friends and family members of all different races and nationalities, and have for years. But today, I want to address what's been going on with these recent murders and share a little of my written word with you, and hopefully you will feel my heart as I share my heart to yours. And I do apologize in advance that I will be reading from papers written. It's not memorized. Father God, I give you thanks. I praise you among your people. Greetings, everyone. Peace and love to you all. Thank you for allowing me this chance to share my written words with you. The name of this is titled, No More Lying to the Races. No more skewing the truth, no more lying to the races. No more dimly veiled, deceitful, hypocritical faces. My mind goes back to Trayvon Martin and his senseless murder. Zimmerman with his lie ready left no need to look any further. I saw Trayvon as son. Others saw him, they saw thug, punk, possibly even one that may have had a gun. He was just a young black kid getting Skittles and iced tea. Something my son, his skateboarding white friends, and he did almost daily back in the day in good old Mount P. It took me back, way, way back, past our young son Trayvon. It took me back, way back to those other long lost sons, some of who were killed even before I was born, who live on in my heart. Those I will still mourn. I know that for most, there have been some change. And for me to say this, it may seem a little strange. But looking at these murders, using that as the gauge, I have to say in some ways, ain't nothing really changed. Our sons are still being ruthlessly killed, just like in the days of young Emmett Till, or the earlier days on the plantation range. In that aspect, ain't nothing really changed. Back then, they didn't even have to try to lie. It was just known that if you were just some random black guy, you may possibly, while yet young, just have to die. And no one wondered or needed a reason why. Way before living out the full days of your life, way before even having a chance for a family and a wife. In this day and age, in that wound they still pour salt. When they said that it was all young Trayvon's very own fault, and that it was all just his very own call. Gotta dress a certain way, didn't they already tell y'all? Who told him that he could dress like a free man without a care and just put on whatever he felt like he wanted to wear? Didn't he know that when some would see his face, that would automatically put him out there on the chase? A hoodie, some say that's really warfare gear, because some are already trained to say that they feel some kind of fear. The fear from guilt of centuries past since, of slavery and the teachings of good old Willie Lynch, makes some want to kill you effortlessly and say hence that it was all on you and that they were really in a pinch, that they had no choice, that's the hand that you dealt, and that you brought all of this on your own bad black self. Who told you, black son, that you could fight back or stand when you've always been expected to bow, scrape, or bend? My mind goes back to Simon Coker's Southern Reconstruction days. He was shot while on his knees, just simply saying his prayers. Killed by a group like Clemson's good old boys like Ben Tillman. Kill a black man for show. They call you hero, not a villain. Just looking for a good old time of a black man's lynching? Those red shirt rifle groups were always more than willing. They'd call everyone out. It was time for a black boy's lynching. Something they did for sport, a picnic, or what some call just chilling. Sometimes they were investigated, more oftentimes were not. Who cared if they got rid of just one more black ink spot? Besides, the lie was always ready to give to all the races. They'd say, "Yeehaw! You know I had to keep them boys in their places. I couldn't let them darkies think that they were really men and stand up to me. Don't get them thinking that this is the land of the brave for them like me, and really the home of the free. You see? How dare the Trayvon Martins or the Simon Cokers or the Emmett Tills defy me and defy my will? Defy me and defy Jim Crow. Defy me, they should know. Some things ain't changed and you will still get your black behind killed, even if it's 2015 and some say those times are behind long still. They say racism has ended and those days have long since passed. We thought we overcame in the 60s because we said that we were free at last. But only God can change the hearts, the pain of the past. Because that hurt's still so deep and that hate is still so vast. Because there are many out there that will still kill your black race for sass and then treat you as an outcast. Many out there still call our son thug. And no matter what, they still hate his rum. Instead of a robe, he has a three-piece suit like Donald Trump. Hating on the prez, any black man, because he been like that from the jump. Possibly instead of a white suit, he's dressed in uniform blue or black. This gives him the right to shoot you 8 times like an animal in the back. Just like he would do a deer or a raccoon that's running away in fright. With the lie on the tongue just ready at will to recite. You gotta know it's because he was black, right? Because he would never like that just shoot a white. In the manner that he did it, without care or even thought, like he did my poor brother, our brother, Mr. Walter Scott. Then on top of all that, to add more injury to pain, he planted evidence of resistance to further sully up his name. Even the other officer, the so-called brother, had the lie ready too. Talk about he helped, gave CPR. I mean, really, truth? That's the least that he could do. But man, they were all in cahoots. Not sure if it's the intimidation or just the group. Man, shoot. The group mentality or not, somebody should have come to aid Mr. Scott. And then tell the truth about all of those shots, instead of acting as innocent without even a thought. Thank God for young Santana with that phone camera in his hand. He really messed up that lie of that murdering slaver man. And even the other one too, that Hambersham. Santana really jacked up all of their plans. Praying they don't try to take out any revenge. Praying hard for this son too. Been praying ever since. Some North Charleston police are vicious. They're always on a quest. Some North Charleston police like a sheriff in the Wild Wild West. They shoot first with no questions later. And when no one's looking, they just might plant a taser. Just look at how they handle poor Mr. Scott, riddling his body with all of those shots. Those 2 officers were both just a little bit too sure. For them, this to even be the first time, or for them to claim to be so pure. So intent were they on their murderous chore. And after all of this, there was even more. So bent were they on their cover-up plot, they didn't even care that Santana had filmed Mr. Scott. This is just history, minus the camera repeating itself. They've rarely ever cared about the black man's health. This time, praise God, there was a ram in the bush. That video refuted every lie that they all tried to push. The main ones who are supposed to be our very own protectors prove that they need to be on film and tied up to lie detectors. Can't even trust the law here. So how are we going to get justice? Independent prosecutor seems the only way for them to handle this. Nothing personal against Scarlett Wilson now. Just seems like sound justice just will not be found. And it just ain't right, and I can't wrap my mind around this much. But while I have you listening, can we please can I talk to you, my brother? Can I talk to you, my sis? I ain't trying to get you riled, and I ain't trying to get you pissed. But we have got to get our own selves right, even as we deal with all this black and this white. On the very same day that Mr. Scott's life came to an end, same thing happened to the daughter in the family of a friend. In Mount P of all zones, in the safety of her own home, took a young mama's life, left her children all alone. This black on black crime that also took place was all on us. It had nothing to do with her race. Buried on the same day as Mr. Scott was my friend's girl, while in church I sat impotent and in such a blur. Trying to figure it all out, thoughts began to swirl, not even knowing how to right this grieving family's world. Those in blue or black kill us and then lie about it to our face, and also those that are supposed to love us and be of our own same race. It all starts with that man looking back at you in the mirror. So be an illuminating light of change and not that of a dimmer. Because if you're not part of trying to find a solution, then you're just a contributor to all of this pollution. And without you doing what's right too, there can be no evolution. So take a good long look at yourself and let's help end all this confusion. Enough of the chit chat, enough of the chatter. I want you to get it in your heart that yes, black lives really do matter. Do your part to help stop this violence and all these murders. Start with yourself first, and then we can look a little further. Put off your anger, your fear, your sheets and sacks. Look past your difference, your white, blue, or your black. Set aside your prejudice, the mentality of the pack. Treat everyone the same, or you ain't doing jack. But feeding into the hatred of days that should have long ago passed. Do the right thing always, even if it's against the mass. Let's learn to love one another. Let's be your brother's keeper. Sow some goodness in this earth, because we will all be the reapers. Treat everyone right before things get even more lethal. We all bleed red, so realize we are all one people. Thank you, and God bless you. My name is Lorna Bell Gathers.